Welcome, everyone. I'm excited to be here this evening. I just wanted to, before we go into the meat of the presentation and what I wanted to cover this evening, I really wanted to share a little bit more on Rally. And I was talking with some of you before we started recording tonight, and just wanted to let you know that the events like Rally, or when we have scientific our scientists speaking, these are events where your club members, if they do join, when they listen, they learn so much, and they get reminded as to why they're taking the products, and it might even open their mind to sharing to some more people, not necessarily because they want to build a business, but because it might just remind them of somebody they know, or they're just thinking about someone that's struggling with a certain health challenge. And you'll find too, once they start taking the products and they get exposed to the neo-life culture, they usually don't stop using the products, okay? Because building that residual customer base is what's going to generate your income into the future and into your retirement years. And, I have to look back to 30 years ago in Don Lawson, and we had these events, not virtual, they were in person, and we would have anywhere from 200 to 300 people in Mississauga come to these events. And I have to say that most of the customers that attended those events have not stopped using the products for 30 years. Okay, or 20 years, whenever they ended up joining. So, build these events. These events are meant for that. They're meant for you to share with your customers that are happy with the products. But just by hearing a little bit more, they might add another product. They might share with somebody else. Okay. So really, really important that you really promote this with your club members. Okay. This isn't just a promoter or a business senior manager event. It's open to everybody. So it's not like a convention where there's going to be business and recognition. It really is geared more towards a guest event. Okay. So I'm really excited. And these are the prizes that they will be drawing. Every 20 minutes, I got Edwin to promise me so we can promote the event properly. So that's why they're going to have a variety of different products. The big items will probably just have one, but like the skincare, as you can see, there's a variety of skincare sets. And you've got your My Yeti. Oh my gosh, this is one of my favorites. If I win one more of these, oh man, it is definitely one of my favorite water. I don't go anywhere with it. I even go to sleep with it. It's right beside my bed. So yeah, so definitely one of the cooler prizes, I find. So anyways, especially it reminds me to drink more water all day, and I put my Neo-Life tea in there. So yeah. Anyways, I am going to stop share for just a second, and I'm going to bring up, hope it's still there, because sometimes with technology, I'm going to end this show, and I'm going to try to bring up, there it is. Yes. Okay. I'm going to share this slide now. Give me 1 second, and we're going to dive in a little bit more on goal setting. I know we talked a bit about goals when we ended the year, but Allan, it just so happened that Allan put this video. I know some of you have listened to it again, listened to it before this evening, just to get a bit of a review. But if you haven't, I think it's a great reminder, even for myself, because I really, this is how I really, I know that this is something that played a really big role in us achieving our goals, is actually having a bigger picture and a clear picture of what we want. Because this is what kind of pushes you to do a little extra that you might not do. Okay, so let's listen to Allan, and then maybe we'll have a discussion over some of the key points. And just let me know if you hear it, because I did share sound. So I just want to make sure you can hear this.
The importance of setting goals here in the new year, really any time of the year, if you're watching this video at a later date. And if you want this next year to be better than last year and to be your best year yet, I've got some really exciting things to share with you, things that I just got done doing yesterday, last night actually. Sat down with my wife, Nicole, and we did exactly what I'm gonna teach you to do right now. We planned out our goals for this coming year. We like to do it before the end of the year. We barely made it last night, got it done, and excited to share this with you. Now, it can be done any time of the year, like I said, but no better time than at the end of the year or the beginning of this year, of any year, to pull the family together, create some new goals, create a family plan, a family goal. Hey, if we reach this goal, then we're gonna do this, whatever that is, Disney World, whatever it may be, something grand. Maybe it doesn't have to be so grand as a trip to Disney World or whatever for your child or your children, but try to get them involved in supporting you along your goals and your dreams as you desire to build this business, impact lives, and create an amazing future for yourself and your family. That's tip number one. You may even want to, when you get done, sit down and do the same thing with your children and help them create goals for this coming year of their own. We're also going to talk about personal goals and business goals in this video and the importance of setting both. That's what Nicole and I do. Okay, this business is not one-dimensional. Our personal lives are intertwined with our business, and they do affect it positively or negatively. So that's why I think it's so important when we're talking about setting business goals that we also set personal goals as well at the same time. If you'll do this, if you'll really sit down and do this and take the steps necessary to reach those goals that I'm going to talk about, people that are same rank as you today, you will go blowing past in this coming year. And you will make this next year just embarrass the year before in your business. And so I hope you will. Other thing I want to tell you before we jump too far into this is write it down. Write down your goals. Don't just talk about your goals. Don't just think about your goals. Don't just envision them. Although all those things are good, write them down. Put it on paper. So critically important, okay? For a lot of reasons that I won't go into, but write it down. You can't just wing this thing. This is your life. This is your business. This is your future. Don't wing it. Nobody would do that with another business, so why would you do it with your own? We need to have a plan. We need to have goals. We need to have metrics. We need to know where we're going and how, most importantly, how we're going to get there. All right? Did you know that immigrants are 4 times more likely to become millionaires? Those born in another country that come to the United States are 4 times more likely to become millionaires than those that are natively born here in the U.S. Why is that? Because they see this land of opportunity, this land of freedom with unlimited income earning potential.
More fish and
And
chips.
they go after it 4 times more often.
I'm just going to ask Lynn to mute yourself. Lynn, can you mute yourself, please? Sorry.
I'm so sorry.
I'll continue. There we go. Okay. There we go.
Than we do. Okay? So let's not just take what we have for granted. We have a multi-million-dollar business in our hands here in this amazing industry we call direct sales, network marketing, multi-level marketing, if you prefer an older term. But we have a great opportunity. Let's take advantage of it. And it starts right now, right here today, by setting down, planning out some goals, and making it happen. Now, if you're sitting there going, hey, I've done this before, Allan. I've set these big goals that were so exciting the day I set them, and I failed, and I failed, and I failed. And I'm scared to do it again. Let me tell you this. Let me encourage you. 2 things. Number 1 is Wayne Gretzky said it best. Arguably one of the greatest hockey players that ever lived. You miss 100% of the shots that you never take. You have a 0% chance, or close to a 0% chance. Well, you do have a 0% chance of achieving something you don't try for. Okay? So set goals for no other reason that you've got something to strive for. And even as the saying goes, aim for the stars and land on the moon. Even if you fail at reaching your goal, you're going to be further along and better off than had you not set a goal and gone after it. Now, just setting a goal and forgetting about the goal you set, that doesn't help anybody. So the second thing I want to encourage you with is, and I'm going to talk about this here in a second, is not only are we going to set results goals, hey, I want to be this rank, I want this income, I want this result, but we're also going to set activity goals. I'm going to do this many this, and I'm going to do this many hours of that, and I'm going to invite this many people, whatever the activities are, and we'll get to that in just a second. And that's a game changer. If you've set goals, results goals before without activity goals, it's like it's a dream. I mean, it's a goal without a plan is just a dream, and most people's dreams don't come true. I want to be a dreamer. I want to dream big. I want to dream big enough to set big goals that excite me, and I want you to. I wish the same for you. But I also want to have a plan, and a plan for you to get there, and so that you will accomplish your goals. Okay? So I want to encourage you with that. We need to do this. You need to do this for you, for your future, for your family, for your business, for your life. Okay? All right. Number one, we start off with personal goals. That's what Nicole and I did last night. What kind of personal goals, you might ask? You can do anything you want. I'm just going to give you some ideas. Some major categories of life, like health, fitness. We set goals for our health. We set goals for fitness, exercise, things like that. How often, how much, when. Spiritual goals. We set daily, weekly, monthly, annual goals for our spiritual life of what we'd like to see accomplished. We set goals for our family. We wrote down how many trips we want to take as a family, among other things. We set goals for our marriage, a date night a week as an example. So many weekend getaways a year. So many 1 week long getaways a year. Just Nicole and I, no business trips, no free vacations our company sends us on with other members of our team. And just, in addition to all that, just focusing on our marriage. We have those goals. Okay, the next phase is me to pull out our 12-month calendar and get those dates on the calendar, which we haven't gotten to yet, but that's a whole nother phase of this, is actually getting it on the calendar. But we've got the goal written down for our marriage, for our family, for our spiritual life, for our health, both our fitness and our health, nutrition, all that. Okay, super important. As I said before, we cannot neglect our personal goals. Our marriage, our children, our family, our health is married. It's intertwined with the success or lack thereof in our business. All right, so we set our personal goals. Recommend you do the same. Then we move on over and we set our business goals in two separate categories: business results, business activity. We started with business results. Big picture. What do we want to see? I want to encourage you, know your numbers. Know your numbers. What was your average monthly income last year? What was your total annual income last year? How many new signups did you have in your entire organization last year? How many did you personally have last year? How many does that break down to on average per month? What was your total volume for the year? We know these numbers. We know we did about $2 million in sales. We did right at $2 million in sales last year. So we know when we go to set our goal for this coming year, which we set at $3 million, 33% increase, which is, substantial, but we want a big goal that we can go after. We know where we were at and we know where we're going, where we're coming from and where we're going. And I recommend you do the same, whatever those numbers are and whatever they look like for you. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Okay, so when it comes to results, you're going to set goals for income. What do you want your income to look like at the end of this year? What kind of monthly income would you like that to be? Just break it down, divide it by 12, right? What total volume do you want your business doing? Write it down. How many new business partners do you want to personally recruit each month for the year? How many business partners do you want your entire organization to recruit for the month? How many customers? We call them club members in our company. How many customers do you want to recruit personally and as an entire organization, your entire team? Write it down. Have this on your board, something to shoot for. Goals. These are the results. This is the result you want in your business, right? Very, very important. What are some other things? Rank. What is our rank? We know what our rank is. What it ended up yesterday, the end of the year, right? We wrote down what we want our rank to be by the end of this year. Maybe that's more than one rank advancement for you. Maybe it's 2, maybe it's 3, I don't know. But what do you want it to be by the end of next year? What is it going to be? What are you going for? What are you shooting for? Not just pie in the sky, what do I want it to be? But what am I going to go for? What am I going to put in the work and do and accomplish? Okay, those are the results goals. Results, like what I'd like to see my business do. Now, most important or as important and neglected so often and why so many people fail in hitting their goals is they don't set activity goals. Okay, it's the last category. You've got to set activity goals for yourself and for your business. What are activity goals? Things like, how much are you going to work your business? How many hours per week? I mean, we'll show up for a job, part-time or full-time, and clock in and clock out and know those hours very, very well to build somebody else's dream. But 9 times out of 10, most people in this business will not even do the same for their own business, this business, for their own family, for their own future, their own dreams, these goals. So do it. Write down your goal. How many hours per week are you going to devote to building your business, this business? How many hours a day is that? And then I would also encourage you to put it on the schedule. Schedule it. Not just, I'm going to work my business 2 hours a day, 4 hours a day, 1 hour a day. Don't know when. No, it's from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. It's from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. It's from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Whenever it is, put it on your calendar. Just like you would for any other business, any other boss. Do it for your boss, which is you. Number 1, okay? And by the way, if that scares you, like, oh, schedules and time, and I don't have time, let me encourage you with this. We all have 24 hours in a day. All of us, everyone. Warren Buffett accomplishes what he's accomplished with the same 24 hours in a day that you have. Top leaders in your company, our company, my company, every company, do so with the same 24 hours in a day that you have. Okay? What I want to encourage you with, secondly, on that topic is focus on being efficient and effective with your time. You would be surprised at what you can accomplish in short windows of time with focus and efficiency and urgency. And if you do that in different areas of your life, you can free up all kinds of time in your day. Okay? So you can make time. You're worth it. Your future's worth it. Your business worth it. So set a goal for how much you're going to work your business each day, each week. Okay? Number 2, how much content are you going to put out? And this is not an all-inclusive list. These are some areas that Nicole and I set our goals. These are activity goals so that we can actually reach our result goal that we have for our business. Goals, not goal, plural, not singular. But things like how many reels per week, Instagram, TikTok, how many Facebook Lives, how many videos are you going to do each week? How much content are you going to post, are you going to make each week? What are you going to commit to? It's so easy to say, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to put out content, but if there's no goal, where's the accountability, right? So set a goal for content. What else? Set a goal for how many conversations, the lifeblood of the business. How many new conversations are you going to start? Online, offline, wherever you start them. How many? How many per week? How many per day? And how many times are you going to ask the question, are you open? Are you open to taking a look at this business? Are you open to taking a look at these products? Are you open? Are you open? Are you open? Are you open to taking a look? How many times are you going to ask that? The more you commit to and do, the more success you're going to have. The more no's, I'm not open, you're going to get, and the more yeses. It's just the way it is. So how fast do you want to grow? How fast do you want to build? Set that goal of how many are you opens question, or are you open to taking a look questions that you're going to ask each week. Real simple. Okay? What else? How many people are you going to ATM each week? How many people are you going to add to a Facebook group, tag them in a video, message them, put them in a group chat? How many people? It's easy to say, yeah, I'm going to ATM some people. How many? How many each week? What's your goal? What's your activity goal? So these are the kind of goals that we set, right? How many hours per week? How many hours per day? How much content we're going to put out each week? How many conversations we're going to start each week? And we break it down to daily as well. How many times are we going to ask the question, are you open each week? Right? And how many people are we going to ATM each week? All right? And those are all the people that are open. We kind of know our numbers and our percentages, so it's not too hard to do that math. But even if we're off, we just make some adjustments along the way. Okay? Also, know your math. Speaking of math, know your math. We know in our company that on average, big picture averages here, Every new person that's sponsored or recruited each month, whether it's a customer or a promoter, as we call our distributors, is worth about $1,000 a month in sales. So said another way, an organization, me and my entire organization that's recruiting 10 new people a month would be doing about $10,000 in sales each month. Okay, an organization that's recruiting 100 people each month is doing about $100,000 of sales each month. Okay, an organization that's recruiting 1,000 people each month is doing about $1 million in sales each month. So know your numbers. Is your goal $5,000 in sales each month? Then you and your team should be recruiting new people every single month. Is your goal $50,000 a month in sales? Then you should be recruiting, you and your entire team, not just you personally, 50 people a month. So know your numbers and make sure your goal for how many new promoters, I didn't mention that earlier, I don't believe, back to results goals, business results goals, not the business activity goals we're talking about now. We put down how many new promoters, business partners we wanted to recruit each month in this year, or what our goal is, and how many customers. We knew from looking in our back office last year how many distributors we recruited, promoters, AKA promoters, and we knew how many club members we personally sponsored. And so we could use that as a springboard to set our numbers and our sights and our goals for how many each month we wanted to recruit in this coming year. Okay, so that was another business results goal. How do you recruit them? The activity. How many hours a week are we working? How much content are we putting out on social media? How many conversations are we starting? How many times are we going to pop the question, are you open? How many people are we ATMing into the Facebook groups? Those are the activity goals that have to happen. But you have to make sure that your math is somewhat in line, that your goal for volume is in line with, or said another way, your goal for how many you're recruiting personally and as an organization is in line with what your goal is for your monthly volume and your monthly paycheck that you desire. Okay, we can't be having filet mignon appetite on hot dog habits. All right, we can't be wanting $100,000 in sales each month and recruiting goal is for our entire team is 5 or 3. That's not reasonable. So make it reasonable, make it big, make it exciting, but make sure things line up. Do your math. In closing, I want to just ask you, why is this important? Do you know why this is important? The reason why these goals are so important, critically important, is because in this business, like everything in life, there's mountain highs and valley lows. There just is. There's tough times. There's exciting times. Like there's higher highs in this business than most any other business I know of. And there can be some low lows. So what's going to pull us through the tough times, the challenges, the hard things? It's this thing we're talking about here. It's these goals that we have in front of us, that we know where we're going and we have a plan. That's why it's so important, right? It gives you something to strive for. It reminds you of why you're staying up late and getting up early and doing the hard thing and making the video you don't feel comfortable making and asking the question you may not feel comfortable asking and getting punched in the face and bouncing right back up and continuing to go impact more lives positively because you have this bigger picture, you have this bigger vision. And by the way, it's going to just help us not allow mediocrity to seep in if we stay focused on the prize, we stay focused on our goals. So critically important. And we can also, on that topic, do not let the NIOP, that's NIOOP, the negative opinions of other people, pull us down, right? We cannot do that. We cannot let our own limiting beliefs get in our head. You have everything. If you will do this, you have everything you need to succeed. Absolutely. I believe in you. Whether I've met you yet or not, I believe in you. I know you have everything you need to succeed. All you have to do is put this plan together and go work for it and work to deserve the goal that you desire. And I wish you all the very best. If I can help, please feel free to let me know. In the meantime, until next time, the greatest compliment you can give me here on this video is a like, comment, and if you're not subscribed, subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this. My name's Allan Blain again. It's been a pleasure spending a few minutes with you.
Isn't he awesome? Oh, guys, I remember when he came to that convention, sitting in the back, not sure if he wanted to get involved in the business again, and very unsure. Love the products. You know, him and his wife have taken the products for many, many years, and then they decided to come back to the business. So grateful to have him back in North America. And you know, he's not part of our team, but he's always included everybody in all of his knowledge and his training, and just so grateful to have him part of that. So anyways, I am trying to get this view full screen. Here we go. Okay. So any feedback, anything that stood out? I've never heard of that NEOPS term before. I thought that was kind of cool. Negative opinion of other people, don't let it get you down, right? So I think that's sometimes that's a challenge for people, and that's sometimes one of the reasons why sometimes people tend to kind of back away from the business. But yeah, that's not going to happen with us, because we have an amazing team. And so then, and the support, just like these kinds of events, right? So what stood out for you guys? What part of his points or key points kind of helped you, and that maybe you're going to make some changes in what you're doing to help you grow? When?
Excuse me. I've always very recently, like within the last few days, maybe not even couple, I've thought about making activity goals. You know, it's one thing to make your business goals, but you have to make activity, how you're going to do that business. So I've actually been, you know, writing down. So if I want, this is my ultimate goal, what do I have to do to achieve that? So I want 2,000 more PV. How do I get 2,000 more PV? So I actually started writing down, and I don't really know it really solidly, but I'm thinking, okay, you need X numbers of promoters. So I wrote that down, or you need so many club members, or a combination of both, because you have to get your PV up if you really want to make that directorship. So that was something that I really was happy that he said that. He gave me a lot of ideas too. The other thing is I haven't been writing down personal goals. And I think that's important too, because they're almost like your pat on the back to yourself for good work. You know, you're going to do those things when you accomplish this.
Absolutely. Thank you, Wen. Patience, you had your hand up.
Yeah, I liked it when he actually put the value to, like, so I want to be able to make $500. I need so much PV. I need so many more promoters. I think when you put the money value attached to it, especially for people who want to make a business out of to make a business from the products, I think that was very important to encourage them that, you know, when you want to make so much money, you need to make so much PVs. To make so much PVs, you need to have so many promoters at least coming in every month. So for me, that was good to attach the money. I'd really never thought about it, because I always thought that for me, anyway, it's important for me for the person to first know the product and enjoy the product, and then we'll move from there.
Yeah, I didn't understand, and you're right, Patience, that's really important. I remember when a few years back, when you know, our businesses were kind of plateauing a little bit, and we were still sharing, but the signups in Canada were very low. And I remember talking with Josh and Bill Jarm and Cesar, and they were saying that in Canada, we should be recruiting as a whole at least 100 new people a month. And I thought, wow, like I had to understand, okay, in order for PV to grow as a country, that's what they were looking at. And we started hitting that. And we started hitting it when COVID hit. So I think it's because we just had more time on our hands, and people were like, okay, let's do this, right? But it was interesting to see the growth, and there was a need for more products and things like that. So, but that momentum needs to keep going, right? We need to keep the sponsoring happening. We're signing up club members, signing up promoters, and that's where the PV and the club members are associated with the growth of PV in Canada overall. So awesome, thanks, Patience. Yeah, so putting the PV to the money. Excellent. Leonie, you can unmute yourself, hon?
Yeah, that was really good. What Allan was going through, and these are things that we have heard before. It's a good way to reboot. I think it's important. And one thing, what I do is like I said with Nova, especially because we have our promoters, right? And I think while we have our own goals and while we write it down, my thing is to write things down. I have it in my head. And sometimes I'll write very sketchily, but I think like Allan's is going to be very specific. Like with Nova, for example, I think it's also important for them to realize their goals and then tie in your goals and help them with hers, so that even with Mansura, then I can reach also my goals. So we all have to work as a team and realize, and she has to realize, or they have to realize what they want as well. So I think it's important, fairly important to sit down with them individually as well. So, it's the blueprint that we have, we give them the same blueprint, right? So, and that way collectively we all can, hit our target. That's what I think. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. Anybody else? Pauline?
Yeah. I like when he said, even if you fail in not reaching your goal, you're better off because it means you tried. You have to try and try until you succeed. So that's an excellent point. I like that very much.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, Serena.
I liked how he gave more like the business results. I mean, we always tend to focus on like PV or, the rank that we're looking for, but even breaking it down even more, like some of the ones I wrote down here is like, how many promoters do I want? How many consistent monthly club members do I want? What's the monthly income that I would like? So just expanding it a little bit more beyond PV or the rank, being more specific.
Yeah, excellent. And Serena, you shared something with me earlier because you've done success team the last quarter, and this quarter you decided to because of just trying to allocate your time and spending more time with doing other things to build your business. The tracker is something though that you're going to continue. You want to share that? And I want to talk about this because that's where the activity is. And I know when you're in a success team this time around too, and Eulalie, and I think Lynn. Who else is on a success team? Leonie, did you do one this quarter? Paul, Patience is excellent. Okay, so
Heather is too, Nada.
who is, sorry?
Heather.
Heather, okay, yeah, she's not on here with us tonight, so that's why I'm just picking on you guys. No worries, but maybe you're going to share a little bit about the importance of the tracker.
Yeah, well, I mean, just for personal reasons, I'm not able to do this success team, but I really, really enjoyed the tracker. And actually the book that we read in the success team fourth quarter was called The Compound Effect. And even in the compound effect, there was one section that it discussed how just tracking in our life, just every little thing, like if you're trying to, quit smoking or every time you have a thought about smoking, you track it, or you track how many cigarettes you do have in a day. So just tracking. And when I did that with Neolife, it just made it so much easier to look back and see what I've actually accomplished. And the funny thing is during the first 3 months of COVID, when there was a lockdown, I went the first month, and at the end of the week, like I felt kind of lost. Like I didn't know, like, what did I do this week? I didn't even remember what day it was. I couldn't remember. What did I actually accomplish this week? So even when I was off at home during COVID, I actually started writing down every day what I did. And then at the end of the week, I looked back, and at the time we were actually renovating our house, so it was kind of perfect timing. And when I looked back and looked at it, I felt like I had been productive, and it made me feel good because I'm I like to see production. Most of us do. And when you're not at work every day to do that, you just kind of feel lost. So I find the tracker really, really helpful. So even though I'm not going to be part of the success team, I'm definitely going to keep tracking because I find it very useful.
Mhm. That's great. Thank you for that. Yeah, because I think that's something that, you know, I kind of do it and then I don't, and I go off and I come back and then I rush like after a few days, think, oh, what did I do yesterday? And I got to go back and remember what I did and who I talked to and how many text messages I sent out. And yeah, so it's definitely, I think having that tracker with you, or do you keep it on your desk? Do you keep it in your day timer, or do you, like, how are you keeping track?
I just keep it on my desk. I'm usually in here every day. So at the end of the day, I just sort of look back, like you say, in your texts or your phone calls and just check to see and record it. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So I was thinking that, is that something that you guys want to maybe do, and then just keep track of your activities, and then maybe just share, maybe when we do our Sunday night team calls, we were talking, some of you that aren't on a success team, but that still would like to keep track. And I'm not saying there's not going to be like a competition or like they do with, you know, the way they do it on the official site or an official success team. But I thought maybe that's something that we could start doing as a group, is keeping track of our trackers and sharing maybe, you know, on the Sunday, oh, you know, this is the area of the tracker that I need to improve next week, right? Because that could be one of our goals, right? And in our wins, to look at our tracker and then maybe set a goal on how we want to improve the following week. Because I think those are the things that that's where the activity comes in, right? To keep track of your activity. Because what, remember Allan was saying, without the activity, you're not going to get the PV growth. You're not going to get the income growth. You're not going to get the rank advancements. Sound like a plan? Everybody have access to a copy of that tracker? I think most of us do. Okay, excellent. Okay, good. I think that'd be something nice just to add to our Sunday nights. Anybody else? Any other feedback on anything you've heard Allan share tonight?
So my question though, on the
Yes.
tracker,
Yes, Elaine.
my question on the tracker, that's just for what we're doing business-wise, correct?
Yeah,
Not a general activity, yeah.
right. Yeah. I mean, if you want to keep track of your own personal activity, you can. But for our Sunday nights, I'd like to stick to the business activity.
Because I just continue to use my day timer.
Yeah.
And like whenever I make calls or I send out invitations for the weekly meetings, that's in my day timer as well.
Yeah.
So,
but then you add it to your tracker that you submit, right, to the success team.
yeah, that's what I use. That's my basis for my tracker.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't have to do the tracker separately. It's just
No. This is just going to be, you can actually just share your tracker that you're going to that just to keep us kind of it's going to be like a second success team kind of, because some people aren't joining in on Edwin's success team on the Monday nights. Okay, so we're not going to make you do double work. You're just going to share maybe a little bit with us. That'll be part of your win. That'll be part of your goal setting for the next week.
Can you clarify the PV to the money that he was explaining? He went through it really quickly, but I didn't quite understand it.
Which part? I think when he went to say, I know he did do that very quickly. So in order,
if you want to make 100,000, it's so many, but
yeah, I mean, in order to 100,000 PV.
So do it on a smaller scale.
I think that he said each person brings in 1,000 PVs, each business person. So if you have 100 of them, then you get, no, hold on.
A year. If you have 100 people a year join, right? Brings you 1,000. Like
no, 10 new people doing 1,000 will give you 10,000. Yeah, 10,000.
Oh yeah, 10 people doing 1,000 PV, yes.
So just assume that each business person brings in 1,000 PVs.
Okay.
Well,
I
you have
think
to,
it's
I think
talking
you
about
almost,
each new person bringing in $1,000 in sales.
you're
That's
starting
not
to,
1,000 PV.
I
It's
think
more
you
like
almost go down to starting at each
Yeah.
person buying 100 PV worth a month. I think that's the basis. Each person is buying 100 PV once a month, and then 10 people, you're making, that's 1,000 PV. And then if I'm bringing in the 100 people, then that's 10,000 PV. And
Right. Each person's averaging 100 PV. I think that's what he was, you're right, Patience. I think that's what he was getting at.
No, but that's doing business. It's not just 100 PV. When you're doing business, you're doing 1,000.
No, at least each person making sure that they make their 100 personal PV,
Really?
then you build on from there.
Well, he said 5 people is 5,000. That's what he said. I wrote that down.
Have 10 people, 10,000.
Yeah, 50 people is 50,000. That's what he said. So
that wasn't PV. He wasn't talking about PV. He was talking about dollars in sales.
Yeah. So 5 people, it goes $5,000 a month, he said. And 50 people is 50. So it ran really fast. I was trying to write it down.
So
I had PV.
I'll send you the YouTube link. I think it'd be good to listen to that again, because you're right, he did go through that very quickly.
Yeah.
So just review that, the YouTube link, and just watch it again. Because I think, yeah, he did talk a little bit about PV. He talked about money and how many PV every person brings in. And 100, I mean, when you're bringing in 100 club members a month, that's, that could generate quite a bit of volume in our Canadian team. But could you imagine if 10 of those are part of your team, right? So you got to look at, even, let's say you bring in 10 new club members and they average 100 PV, that's 1,000 PV, right? So if you're doing 10 new club members every month, in 4 months, you'll be a director, right? If you're bringing in 10 club members, and that's not you personally, that could be in your team, right? You signing up somebody and that person signs up somebody and that person signs up somebody, right? It's that whole team thing, because that volume pools up to you. Okay, does that make sense?
So that's 1,000 PV then, right?
Yeah, if you 10 people is 1,000 PV. So if you're doing 10 club members in a month in your group, in your team, if you do that consistently for 4 months, you'll be generating 4,000 points or more, because some of those will go off to be managers or senior man. We're just giving you like an average of how the PV could look if you're just bringing in 10 new people a month in your team.
Yeah, but this one was business builders, right? He's talking about the business builders.
Yeah, and business builders, yeah, and that would generate volume faster if you have 3 senior managers, right? There's your 1,000, there's your 3,000 PV.
And how does that calculate to BV?
The BV is around 1.6.
Okay.
Around 1.6, yeah. It could be a little more, a little less. It depends on the product that they're purchasing.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess what you can do is, if you want to do a mock order, so you have an idea, because when you're talking to people as well too, you can tell them this is how much you could make. So if you do it in terms of like the breakfast packs or something, right? That would be a good thing. If you do 1,000 with the breakfast packs, then you have that figure, because you have the BV as well. I've done that before, where you want to get the actual figure,
right?
So that you can pass it on to your team members if
Do you have that, Joan?
Pardon?
Do you have that?
I've done. Yeah, I'll have to see.
You know what, Joni? Maybe you and I can work together and do up a mock, or like just use breakfast packs with 90 PV. We'll just do breakfast packs. So this way you can see realistically what it would look like if you have 10 people doing 90 PV, and then how it looks to get 4,000. We can easily do that. So we'll work on that together.
We can do that for next Tuesday.
And we get the bonus, how much the bonus is.
And how much and the bonus will be. Sure. Do you want to do that for next Tuesday, Joni? You and I can work on that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that would be helpful. Thanks.
So that's actual figures, it's great to
Yeah.
have actual figures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times when you're talking to people about the business, they also want to have an idea of how much they can make when they're starting out. So it would be good to have that also.
Mhm.
Like even the manager too, how much are you going to make when you become a manager? So you give them a
Right.
number, right?
Yeah.
I have those. I have the manager and senior manager. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. That would be good. Thanks.
Excellent. All right. Well, I think Allan did an awesome job. I'm so glad he shared that. The timing of that was perfect for 2022. I'm going to get Cindy to stop the recording, and then we're going to see you in about 10 minutes over on the other side.